Being human now is getting to be a very unusual dance. Because the old days of this is the way doesn't seem to work anymore. There's all manner of things about how most of us, especially us older folks, have had so many years of expecting things to be kind of stable. We have minor variations in the moment, but the platform's pretty much fixed. Well, me, Mello, human being here and now, is witnessing every day, more and more, that the field around me literally changes shape to inform me about what's arising from my mind, my heart, my solar plexus. And this is being produced not too long after the most potent lunar eclipse that humanity has ever borne witness to, being transformed by. So my sharing today as Mello, rather than stepping aside to allow the higher wisdom to flow through, is to give to other folks an example of how I'm experiencing how to not only cope with, but ride the waves of change with ease and grace. And as beloved Mother Mary has said so often, the core essence of her teaching, it is only when you surrender in trust and faith that your life shall unfold in ease and grace. So I've been learning an awful lot just in the last few days since that profound effect of the eclipse energies, and then other interactions that I've had with people who are also somewhat aware of what life's really about, to find patterns in me that I thought I'd overcome years ago. And when they were reflected back to me from people I know, from a little post on my social media, from some random YouTube that popped up, from somebody I've never seen or heard of before, but the content, the message totally rings bells, says to my heart, mind, this is important information. So the first point I'm making today, be aware of being aware, and being aware that the field is giving you back reflections all the time in all manner of different subtle ways. A particular piece of clothing somebody's wearing, somebody who you wouldn't assume to would look you in the eye and smile at you just when you had a query, an uncertainness. The message is, you're okay as you are. So here's the next part of my constantly evolving understanding of being alive and becoming more and more aware of my personality constructs, of my emotions, of pains that may or may not arise in my body, of how I relate to people close to me, and how I receive information from higher realms. Now, yes, quite clearly, I have this blessing to be able to step aside and allow higher wisdom to be spoken through this vessel. But funnily enough, I couldn't tell you what was said. I sort of hear bits of it as it's coming through, but it's only when I listen back to the recording that I actually get to hear it as Mello. The whole of life's becoming a bit more like that now, when we give ourselves permission to cultivate the witness, that point of awareness slightly above and removed from our personality construct that observes without any judgment what is arising. Why are you saying that particular thing with so much energy behind it? Why are you doing that? Is there a fear you're trying to pretend you don't have because you're speaking with so much vehemence? Or are you, oh my God, it's all too scary. I don't know how to cope. I'm very, very afraid of everybody's talking about all this stuff and how am I going to pay for this and do that, and what is it you're really afraid of? You have a dream, a very, very vivid dream, and the images are real. You come out of it still very much affected by it. Personality feels overwhelmed, puzzled, fearful, or rejecting. That big smoke screen, I'm okay, nothing touches me. It's phony. It's only a defense. It's not all of who you are. The personality, the frontal lobe, very handy for writing comments on the socials or speaking, but the subconscious mind, that much larger part of the brain, that's where the traumas are either suppressed and buried, or now, more than likely, you cannot keep a lid on them anymore. They are rising up. And when you stop suppressing them, pretending it's all fine, or using substances to deaden them, and instead you surrender in trust and faith that this surrendering will give you the opportunity to be in your witness and observe, oh, that's right, that big lump of really painful emotion that I just witnessed coming up from the solar plexus creates images in my mind, or words that I hear from friends or wisdom teachers, whoever, words that ring true. They don't ring in the head, they ring in the heart. You suddenly feel it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to actually share with people you feel close with, which isn't necessarily a long-term friend. In fact, it might be somebody who's not a close friend, because the two of you have had a codependency, not just in a love relationship, but as friendships born from years and years ago. Sometimes new people arrive in your life and you feel able to trust them. That's your intuition speaking to you. Because you're not projecting or denying, then you are much more capable of being aware of this information coming to you out of the field. I had an experience a few days ago, prior to the eclipse. I was talking to my partner with a stream of wisdom that wasn't really something I had thought out, but I felt quite impassioned to share with her. We stopped to get a coffee. I'm in the shop waiting, I open up my socials, and there's a comment which is almost word for word with what I was saying to my partner. Confirmation. They're not actually synchronicities or coincidences. They are you becoming aware of your own coherence, heart, mind, spirit, all connecting. And then the field, which is not fixed, it's only made from light. It only looks solid because you think it's solid, not really. It's full of space and your body's full of space. 99.99999% empty space is this physical form. I say this to allow you to also surrender your what were rigid coping mechanism beliefs, because they don't really work anymore. That world of I'll keep the lid on and I'll be safe is falling apart around you. This is the year, the last year of this 9-year period, when so very many of the old matrix forms are becoming spongy, viable not like they were, and trustable not like they were. So in this place of what do I hold on to becomes a time to be kind to yourself. Don't endlessly scroll. Don't read some book. Don't watch endless Netflix giving you a whole lot of drama from somebody else's psyche. Sit quietly with yourself. Maybe sit under a tree. Go for a walk along the beach and allow in your stillness, your quiet, surrendered state to hear, sense, feel new knowing. Because the world you have lived in absolutely will not look the same. Mary said through this one back in March, by the end of this year, you will struggle to even remember what life was like back in January. And as Mello, January? That was such a long time ago, from my perspective. So this week is such a huge change from that equinox moment. Then the eclipse moment. And then we've got the equinox coming up in another 7 days or 10 days. And then there's a partial solar eclipse. Another gap in the matrix stream. Another place of silent poise where much more wisdom can be accessed. So the message today is that when you do even try for a moment, what would happen if I just surrendered on Saturday? You might like to try. Just simply say when you first wake up Saturday morning, before you get into your busyness, today I'm going to trust that what will unfold will actually be for my own highest good. Now you might find yourself on that Saturday having a very real conversation with somebody you have been close with, partner, good friend, business associate, whatever, where it's a bit chunky. Real things are being said. The immediate reaction is to recoil. But if you choose to witness, go through the process, but just soften your own reactivity. And then after the passage of energy has flowed, from your witness, you may well find that that moment of discord and apparent difficulty gave you a huge redefinition of the nature of that particular relationship, gave you the opportunity to directly witness how your old reactivity was actually the cause of the difficulties. It wasn't the other person, it was your own projection being reflected back to you. These are the gifts of now. The divine consciousness is giving all human beings profound abundance of opportunities to let go and find the real truth, which very often distills into this place of, I don't actually need a whole lot of things, a whole lot of substances, a whole lot of nurturing relationships so that I can stay in my trauma, because the real gift is to using that witness and the higher divine guidance, because every human being comes from a higher self. That's exactly the truth of it. There's no other way to be here. The higher self wants the highest timeline for every single human being. The divine cosmic rays flooding this planet now, through the sun, directly from the center of the galaxy, all of the way the outer planets are doing things, everything's assisting humanity to let go of the fear, to let go of the egoic pretense, I'm okay, and instead to say, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I don't really know how I'm supposed to be in relationship with partner or friend or business or anything else. But I'm willing to sit in a surrendered state and allow divine truth to come to me. Because as this one has found for a long time, but this year especially, so many examples arise that now it's become normal. I have a conversation with somebody, it goes to a certain point, and I've got a moment, I open my socials and there's the complete explanation. From somebody I've never seen or heard from before, it's really potent guidance. Or the YouTubes, or somebody saying something that I don't particularly know, but they're talking about their experience, and I go, wow, that's just what I needed to hear. So this is surrendering and trust and faith in action, in actuality. And so my difficulties that arise, I am able to go through the process, even if it feels quite painful at times, to come to a place of ease and grace, moment by moment by moment, more and more and more, as life continues to accelerate into an entirely new abundance of divine love, wisdom. Have a play, have an explore, try surrendering and see how much wisdom is accessible for you to receive in your own unique journey. Because here's the last little clue. We're actually all perfect already. All that judgment story from your social milieu that you've believed, I'm not good enough, or I'm better than that one, that's the most important thing to surrender. We are all points of consciousness in a field of consciousness. Have a play, and you might just find ease and grace becomes your lived experience.